Get started. Yeah, cool. All right, we got some people coming in. What's up, guys? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Appreciate you guys hopping in on the stream. This week I'm just gonna go over just a few plays. Nothing crazy. I don't think we had like a crazy week. I just want to go over just a couple of the plays that we played, ARDX specifically, just because of the type of stock that it was, right? It was a big float. Um, there was big asks, big bids. You can take big size on this, and you really didn't need it to push that much because you were able to get in and out with such big size. I'm going to go over just one flag that we played on CYAD and a couple of flags, pre-market flags on OP, and then just a couple of the shorts that I took, kind of why I took them, and then I'm going to answer some people's questions that they got for me. Probably easy. Bofo's on voice with me too, so if I miss something, he'll be able to help me out with that. What's up, everyone? And wait, Mikey going short? That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Thiz got me. He got me hooked. Thiz definitely got me hooked on it. Yeah. Traded some spy too. That was interesting. I won't go over that though. That was really not my style of trading, but it worked. All right. I'm gonna go over ARDX first. So this is a stock that we traded on the first and on the third. I didn't trade on the second, but I just want to show you again, guys. This is a stock who actually had a catalyst. It had a price target, right? So it was something. I just want to show you guys again that these are the plays that we took. This thing had really good momentum out of the gates. It had a catalyst. Any 5-minute AD pullbacks were getting bought up, right? And the biggest part about this one was this was gearing up for the whole dollar break or half dollar break. Sorry, 150, 151. Um, this is the type of stock too that the asks were so big and the bids were so big that you can get in with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 shares at a time, not really catch any slippage whatsoever, and you know make some profits that way. Because if you see the range, it only broke out for 20 cents from our entries, right? Um, so this was just a good one to recognize, because if you ever see these in the future where they actually are getting some volume on the day, they're getting some momentum, and you're able to take size, back and forth, whether you're long or short, it's just good to recognize that you can get in and out of the stock without any issues on that one. So, this one missed it out of the gates. I probably would have never even played any of this anyways, right? So this one hit scans, it's ripping. Now I'm getting interested because it's coming up to the half dollar, right? It's getting rejected, so this is kind of a flat top right here. So we're waiting for a 5-minute pullback. We get our 5-minute pullback, and I did honestly take some profits up here because I loaded the boat, and it broke the half dollar. And then I waited again for another entry and re-added. Herb was on this play too. This was a great play. He called this one out. Hopped on with him. It made sense, right? Had a catalyst, had a lot of volume. Look at the daily. The daily was like just beaten down. If you see the daily, this thing also had a window gap to fill right here. This is your window gap, right? Once this thing starts to actually touch this area, it's going to start entering it, right? So 214 is really big resistance on this right now. So that was that play. That's pretty straightforward. And then I want to go back over to the one on Friday. I didn't play any of this. The second was very slow. I wish I would have probably stayed more in tune with this, but this just grinded pretty much on the 5-minute 8 for a while. I know the boys are on this one. But here goes another one, right? This was on Friday where it actually had some momentum, right? And it's just ripping, right? Let me go over here on the one. All right. I missed all this, right? Missed all this, and now it's hitting scans, the momentum scanner, and I'm waiting for a pullback, right? This is one of those flags where the VPA is starting to get intact, and I thought I was gonna pull back more, right? This is a flag where the 5 minute candle closes up here. If you're watching the time, as soon as this thing opens, it starts to go, and you kind of see that right here. So once this right here opened, I slammed the gas right away, loaded the boat, and rode this up pretty high. 190s was pretty much a good spot to take profits. If you can kind of see this area, this was pretty much pre-market right here. This was like the wall to me, or support, and once this thing broke, it kind of had a hard time getting above it. So that area was a great spot. And where I took profits was, I thought I was gonna go for more, right, for $2. If you see it right here, kind of pulls back and waited, but once I saw this kind of fail, I just unloaded, started market selling all my shares and got out. This is a stock that you can have no trouble. And then we actually tried it again right here, right? Because it kind of pulls back, gives us a nice pullback, and our second attempt was here. But the only problem with this is right, is this is your second flag, but now this stock does not have a catalyst. It had one a few days ago, so this is kind of like a stock that's on the radar. We're still looking for it to fill its gap, right, on the daily or the window gap. And it just didn't have that much momentum behind it anymore. So this is one of the ones that this is still a great entry, and we wanted it to break out for $2, but it just didn't happen. And now if this setup was on day one, we probably would have had a more likely chance of it actually breaking out, filling the gap, and going on. It tried actually to, if you guys saw it, and actually played it after hours and on December 2nd, right? Came really close, like 10 cents right under it. So that was that play. Again, we're waiting for nice sticks. You can actually play this right here. There's a 1 minute flag, another 1 minute 3 bar, right? I think someone just asked me in chat too. This is your 1 minute flag, and this is your 1 minute 3 bar. And the only way you're going to actually stay in tune onto these is by watching the time. If you see a nice stick igniting, and then you see it pull back again, you're watching the time. To catch these is just, it's all timing. It's just timing after timing. Same thing with the flag. You get a nice pop, low volume pullback, see the VPA, stair step down. Same thing with the 1 minute 3 bars, right? Or 5 minute 3 bars. Same concept. We want to see on a 3 bar lighter volume pullback consolidation. On the flags, you want to see a lighter volume pullback consolidation and then rip. All right. I would play 1 minute flags, yes. If I'm playing 1 minute flags, if you're gonna enter something, especially under VWAP, which is fine, anticipating, you just gotta be quick on your feet that if it does get rejected, to either stop out or look for a better setup. But when you're playing something like 1 minute flags that are so below, any type of level, I would hold it to actually start testing some levels. These are not ones that you scalp, especially with this stock that's trading in kind of like the penny range where, it's ripping only 5 cents. This is, I'll show you the difference between this one and actually, the one that we played pre-market with the pre-market gang. To me, this is a different type of profit taken 1 minute flag. All right. So we played this one. Just want to pull up the 5 because this is what the 5 looks like, right? And over here, there is pretty much no flag set up other than right here. So this is your 5 minute flag. Pulls back, bounces out. But we nailed this pre-market. I always said this, and I learned this from, Warrior Trader. Pre-market, the probability of the first one or two actual bull flags breaking out is going to be, amazing. First of all, this thing was on the gappers list. I had all eyes on it. Anybody that was retail trading at the time, get a nice volume push up, pulls back. And this type of stock, the reason why I say I take profits at this because fairly quick, because it's breaking out a dollar. Why am I not going to lock in a dollar from this? The stock also, if you're watching it, this one's different because it was kind of whippy, right? On the level 2 active trader ladder. So as soon as it pops and bids fills up, you're up a dollar. I'm filling the bids, right? And that play's pretty much over to me, and we're watching it, pull back for another flag. And actually, this is the one that Bofo called out. This is your second flag. Pops up, pulls back, it pretty much bounces off almost a half dollar, right? It reclaimed it. Just again, guys, if things break it, it doesn't mean necessarily that it didn't hold it. As long as buyers step up, it closes above it, and starts to, bounce back, it's pretty much reclaiming it. So this is your first flag, second flag, and each of these flags, guys, gave us a dollar. There's nothing wrong with this. If you waited, if you only played this pre-market, you could have been done for the rest of the day. And this is your 5-minute flag. Nice pop up, low volume pullback, bounces off the half dollar. So this to me is even more confirmation of going long. And again, this thing didn't break out all the way right away, which is fine. But from here to here, you're pretty much getting another dollar, right? Um, so you got 1-minute flags, and then you got a nice 5-minute flag. All right, that was that one. CYAD. I did not play this, guys, Friday. This thing was too whippy, scary for me. But the only thing that we did play was this 5-minute setup. And that's the only time I really touched this name, to be honest. If I can remember correctly, was I had this circled. Pops up nice. It's gearing up for what? The whole dollar break. That's pretty much what I was looking for. And lately, guys, I switched up how I play the half and whole dollar break. And I do this because I've catch too much slippage, because when things break it real quick, it just flashes up, everyone's dumping at once, and you probably really never get filled, right? So what I've been doing, and it's been working phenomenally, right? I put my orders at $4.99. If I get in early, and I'm up 20, 30, 40, 50 cents already, I actually have my sell order, and not the whole thing, it's just a chunk of it, at $4.99. Why? Because everyone wants that whole dollar break. So why not now, instead of being greedy, get fucking filled on it, right? We're getting filled at basically the whole dollar, and who cares if it cracks up, goes up, 5, 10 cents. All I know is that I am officially now 100% locking in all my gains, right? And I do this at the 49, the half dollar, and I do it at the whole dollar, so 99, and it's been working out amazingly. So there's goes some sauce right there for you guys, like of how I blame. So if it bounces off the whole dollar, I'm taking a stab, playing momentum. If it's not setting up a flag, that's how I'm playing it. And then I'm having my sell orders on the ass now, anticipating the whole dollar break. And then if it does break, I have the rest of my shares to keep playing the upside of it. Now if it doesn't, I just stop out right away, fill a bid, or if it's open market, get out really quick with on the market. Just depends on what's going on. But that's how I've been doing it. You guys can try it. It's up to you. I just want to lock in gains. Like, the goal is to lock in gains. Don't really care what anybody else, how they play it, what they're looking for. It's just I want to start taking. I'm taking more size, right? Size. But I just want to make sure I secure my profits. So that's how I'm doing it with the half whole dollar, right? If I get in on a bounce of it, holding it, I'm pretty much having my orders on the ass now to get filled. So if it cracks it, I get filled immediately, and I don't have to worry about it just, getting really whippy up here. I just already locked it in. So that was pretty much the only play that we played. Yeah, and this one, that kind of made sense to me, right? Kind of has a stair step down type of thing. Pulls back to this key level right here. Had a hard time breaking out. Finally broke out of it. That was that one. Let me see. I know everyone played this, right? Played this multiple times. And yeah, so IMGN, you know, here goes for one of your first. See how extended this is, guys? This thing is just like super, super extended. Um, Stock again had earnings, so it has a catalyst, right? And it starts to go. Oh wait, why am I 12-1? Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay. All right. So same thing with this one, right? Um, these are kind of setting up. If you see this right here, this is a 5-minute flag right here, guys. And when you see these kind of break out, this is going to be different than the other ones, right? This one right here is setting up and it's pulling back, and you have to go off based off the 5-minute tweezer bottoms, right? You know, this right out of the gates has great volume, you know, compared to what it was having. Let me pull up the daily. 12-1, 12-1, which is right here, right? Um, when you guys see this, it's kind of like how ARDX was, right? It pulled up, it pulled back, and you're watching the time on these. You know, if it's going to hold this level, right, there's no reason why you can't take a stab out of it, and it's pretty much holding VWAP. You know, the 8 still, it's just super extended because it just started taking off. There's no reason why you can't take a stab right here and then go ahead and look for the half-dollar break, right, and then start approaching for the whole dollar break. You know, so when you see these things right here, it's super extended. If you can look for something like a tweezer bottom on the 5, letting you know that the price is holding up, you know, there's no reason why you can't enter off of this, and you're not going to ever catch it, right? Once it puts in a tweezer bottom, then you can go ahead and take your entry and use this as a place to either stop out or, you know, give yourself some breathing room, either VWAP or the 5-minute 8, or just exit and re-enter. All right. This is one too that actually played and actually went long on this, and then I shorted it. Kind of crazy. Nice 1-minute flag. I was actually about to get off that day, and you got a nice 1-minute flag right here. The VP is there, nice pop, lower volume pullback, and then you got a nice 1-minute flag, and then you got a nice 1-minute 3-bar. And as soon as this thing popped, I immediately sold everything, and then I shorted it. And I know you guys are in voice. I was out of voice, and I hopped back in. I just saw the nature of this stock too. I actually shorted this thing a few times. Um, Shorted it over here, or actually it was right here, this area right here. I was just taking a stab, right? This thing's right. It's just stuff that I learned from Thiz, right? It's downtrending now. It's not holding VWAP. Comes up to again, and the thing with this one too is like you got to see like the overall market, who's on it. Is there only retail on this kind of stuff? So you know, I keep that in mind when I'm playing these type of plays. And right here, this is pretty much a tweezer top on the one, right? Triple top. This thing's not breaking. This is nothing to me that looks bullish, right? At all. And look at the volume, right? The volume is so inconsistent. It's super late, you know. So I shorted this thing here, and you know, wrote it down all later like 89 or a little bit under 89, you know, and then covered. Um, so that's what made me short it again over here, because this was running into a level on the daily, which is right here. So it snapped above it and then kind of just failed. And, you know, it worked out great, right? EXPR, before yeah. Yeah, okay, so Bofo asked me, like, when I play this, does it matter how much volume pushed it up? Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if I'm playing anything and I'm looking at it, you know, and where'd it go? Right here. Yeah, right here. Right here. So I'm looking at the overall volume, right? This thing is, to me, it was super late. It's going up on good volume, but you know what? I don't even care. Too many other people were trying to like pump this, alert it, send it. So I now I'm waiting for the weekends, and this is why I got in it, and because of the nature of it. And as soon as that happened, everyone took their profits, and so did I. Right? It was a great play from the flag. And if you look right here, this is where the target was. This is what we were looking for it to crack. It was right here. It's pretty much the high of day. Pretty much this level right here. And it does. And if you're watching this thing just popped up and immediately flushed. It wasn't like it was like up here and it was stagnant, holding its level, because if this didn't hold, I was expecting the $8 break. That just, it just didn't happen. Yeah, I'm watching for overall volume. If things are like if you look at the 5 right here, this kind of consolidated. It did hold up. I just don't think like this thing was like super strong. In my opinion, I think it's tried so many times. If you kind of look left, see all these upper wicks. It's pulling back. It is bouncing off. To me, this bounce off. Held the whole dollar, right? $7. I just from the nature of playing this, multiple times, that every time it actually made a really good move, that it just gave back all its gains. That. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Cause yeah, if you see this overall volume, like look how much volume this 5 minute had compared to this push up right here. So it was a lot less. It's just pushing up on lighter volume. So I took a stab at it, and it worked. And the only reason I did that is because I was shorting the stock multiple times already, going long. I played it both sides. I went long, went short, went long, went short. To me, guys, when I'm gonna short stuff now, if I can, it'll be on TOS. Is when things are starting to get super extended, right? If I'm gonna wait for a nice 5 minute pullback, if I can short it to actually get that pullback, so now I can go long, because this is what I'm waiting for, right? Nice flag, pops up, pulls back, bounces off the 8, and then we're playing it for long. So it's just something that I'm trying. I'm not going super heavy. I think I did have like 3,000 shares of this, though. I did have a lot, 5,000, whatever it was. I'm trying to time the top. Yeah, I try to time it. Try to time the top. I mean, at this point too, it just gets um, again, to me, this is like super extended now. If it is gonna go, um, you know, it would have been fine. I would have just exited and re-entered and looked for a pullback. I just look at the overall volume though. If the overall volume is starting to push up really light, that to me that's a bad sign. Um, did the one on EXPR too, which was right here. This is another one, right? It had earnings. So this thing has earnings, right? And this pre-market chart was like this. And I just, I was waiting. I was looking for these levels right here, right? To me, what I read from the 200 EMA, right, is a big spot of either support or resistance. And this pretty much broke it. And then I looked left the daily and noticed like all this kind of stuffage right here, you know. And then for the overall day, it's had 22 mil, but by the time this was up here, it maybe had half that. That's something I learned too. If it doesn't have like this abnormal volume, then 9 times out of 10, maybe the whole overall market's not on it. So I took a stab at this. Once this broke out, kind of came into this level, and then I shorted it and wrote it for a nice short. Me, when I'm doing this, guys, I'm just gonna short the stock and try to just let it just go down. If yeah, yeah, no, it was good. It was again, too many other people were just trying to say EXPR, which is fine. But to me, it just doesn't have that overall market momentum. So I don't see like anything great. And then Yeah, I got 19. Here, hold on. So we played this. We played the 5 minute flag. Yeah. We played. Yeah, so this is another one too that, we flipped. I can bounce off the whole dollar pretty much. Sets up, pops up, starts to consolidate, pull back on lighter volume, you know, um, and then yeah, just shorted the top of this because it was running into this, the 200 EMA. I made more money on the back side of this than I did on the front side, and I normally would never do that. So last week, you know, profit ratio wise for me, since there wasn't like a lot of bullish momentum, I ended up making like 60% short and 40% long. So it was mind blowing because I would never do that, but constantly seeing Thiz short and see how he shorts, where he shorts, why he shorts. I'm gonna take a stab off it now. Especially off the five. If I'm waiting for a 5 minute pullback and I can short it, I'm gonna short it. Because I'm waiting. Why am I gonna wait 10, 15 minutes for this pullback, and then go long when I can start, playing both sides? But again, guys, right? I always talk about this. Back test it. Try it with small size, a size that's small for you. For me, I was just comfortable taking a certain amount of size. I already had profits, so I was willing to risk it for the biscuit for that one. And then we had pun running, PHUN. Not really gonna pull that chart up. It was just it's just be aware of what's going on, right? Um, I kept flipping long and short on pun when D-Walk was running. That was pretty much easy stuff right there. So yeah, that was pretty much the week. Um, wasn't anything crazy. Um, it wasn't super super strong. So that's when if you guys see, like, we see out of the gates, you know, these 1 minute flag setups, and it's pre-market, we got to take advantage of it, right? If you make a dollar here, make a dollar there, you just made $2 off two trades. And I was personally buying 3,000 shares at a time, so I made really good profit on this. Uh, you know, this if this is the only opportunity we get for the day, that's the only opportunity we get. So we got to capitalize on it. When the VPA is there, the setup's there, you know, and same thing with ARDX. I actually had a catalyst that day. You know, everyone was on it. I had overall good market volume to it. That was great. Other than that, I'm gonna start answering. So if you guys got questions, I'm gonna go over the feed. Let me see if. Oh, you do. Oh, okay, all right. Oh yeah. What was it? Sky. SK. All right. So the only way I think I can answer that with a playoff yesterday, or was this 5 minute flag right here, right? So when we're looking at this, right? When we see these things come back, this is and this is just this small time frame, right? This thing finally had trouble breaking out of this, right? So to me now, right, this is your little area of resistance on a tiny small frame just for right now, for this moment. All we're focusing is on this. We're looking left for this level to break, 45, and and the whole dollar, right? So when this actually breaks and gives us a 5 minute pullback and bounces off this area, to me, in this particular moment, this is your area of support for this particular setup. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for the re-break of 485 and the whole dollar, right? Pre-market highs. All right. That is, I don't really do that whole other style of like really looking back and going to larger time frames. I don't load the boat on this could be support or that could be a good area. I never back tested that. But when I play the flags, I do look for key levels, right? If this flag would have broke out and then consolidated above $5, I definitely would have took a stab, especially if it was a low volume pullback. I know if you go in my other streams, I go over plays like that. You know, a high day breaks and you got a flat consolidating above it. You know, something bouncing off orb. Here goes your ARDX, right? On Friday, you know, this thing breaks out, right? This thing breaks out a high day for this particular time frame, and really the high day would have been at 10:30, but you know, breaks out of it, pulls back on the 5 minute, starts to reverse and go for new highs, right? And again, this one right here, this is pre-market high. So really we're looking for 198s. It gave us 192s. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's how I play the flags. Okay. Uh, okay, let me look at it. Oh, my bad. Okay. Can you go over how you know it's a micro pullback 3 bar? Is that the question? Okay. Oh, that was from. Okay, so yeah, all right. So this is again, you know, OP is probably the best one, just because it's like it was so fresh. This is gonna be, since this is so fresh momentum. This is your 1 minute pullback, right? Right here. And if you look at this, if you look left, right? Let me zoom out one more time. Okay. This is your pre-market high. This is kind of like that gap consolidation go look. Gap and go look. Um, where this is setting up makes all the perfect sense. All right, this is actually which gives me like high conviction. This pops above this level. This is your first flag. You know, micro pullbacks. Okay, ARDX. I remember this because I was talking to Benji over the weekend, and I was telling him to look at this. Okay. So when I say micro pullbacks, right, and I call this out for anybody who misses the actual play, right? This is your first 5 minute candle, right, to make a new high, which is 177. So this is the break right here. All right, you're either going to get two scenarios out of this. You're either going to get a flag, or you're going to get a micro pullback that once this actually breaks, and it also depends on the time. If this would have broke out and this was like a fresh 1 minute candle where it just popped, like it's 10:32 and it's 10:32:01, 02, 03, you know, etc., etc. And what you do is you get this pop, right? A micro pullback is something when it pulls back like this, and then it pops back up and even goes higher, right? Now that has to me, when I see stuff like that, it has to do with the timing and the candle. Like, you know, this is 1 minute, so you get 60 seconds of buying and selling going back and forth. That could be a micro pullback when it just pulls back like this. Either comes back to this level or just bounces really quick and continues. Or you're going to get your first 5 minute candle to make a new high in this situation, and then pretty much set up a flag, because this is what it did, and then break out even more. 5 minute 3 bars. You know, there's a 5 minute 3 bar play that we nailed, and I forgot the ticker. And I remember Thiz was like, "Oh, the dude is so hyped off a dollar move." Yeah, I was. I was super hyped. I had like 3,500 shares. It was okay. To MZ. Okay, so this one right here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so all right, so Bofo was asking. This was a scenario where this actually broke out and the candle pulled back, and in that same candle, he bought the micro pullback and he was looking for new highs. I think that as long as if you're in the situation, you're watching the tape, time and sales, and you see this break and it pulls back and it's testing previous highs pretty much, right? Because 229 was the level. It's a break. As long as you're not seeing a shitload of sellers on the tape, like heavy orders going through, and buyers are still stepping up where they're buying the ask, they're constantly buying the walls, the price is going higher, bidders are stepping up. There's nothing wrong with that. I do this sometimes too, and the same thing with half whole dollar breaks. If I see something break and it doesn't get stuff, I try to buy the first micro pullback that happens in that same candle. And then BOFO too, I would definitely pay attention to the time on that. Like, if you see this breakout and it's a fresh 1 minute candle and it's already breaking out, then there's nothing wrong with taking a stab on a micro pullback to see if the strength behind it's going to continue. Now, if it doesn't continue, what's going to happen is you're going to get this push up. You're buying the pullback essentially, right? Because if this was the ending of the new 1 minute candle, it would have popped up, then it would have gave you that pullback. So there's no difference of this popping up, you buying this pullback right here, or this popping up, new 1 minute candle opens, and then you buying this pullback right here, right? Because you basically took the same entries and got the same outcome. It just depends, and that's where paying attention to detail is really gonna help you determine whether if you want to go long on it and take actually the stab of it, because that's what I'm looking for. Same. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. As long as you get good volume on the breakout, everyone's gonna follow the volume rate. If there's good volume behind it, you know, maybe people are not gonna want to step in right away to short it. Maybe it needs more time to go. This came up to half dollar. Other people are on this name too. I definitely I went long on that play too. That was a quick right here. This 1 minute three bar. Yeah. Okay. This right here. Okay. So when you see a three bar, sometimes is you got to remember like this candle broke out, it pulled back, and then it pulled back more. So typically these three bars that happen is this third bar is going to be inside the actual igniting up. It's not going to be one of those that pops above it. When I see people say, "Oh, this is a three bar and this made new highs already," I'm like, that's not a three bar to me. You know, um, so this is the whole pullback. This is pretty much your 50% pullback. If this thing would have pulled back more, it would have gave back all of its gains. So just watch. You know, when you're seeing a three bar or a flag, because if this would have popped up a little bit more and flagged about 50%, that's your flag. The fact that this thing popped up, it pulled back pretty much 50% of your 1 minute candle. This is a good three bar play. And then just watching the time. If you watch the time, you're gonna notice it opens up, pulls back for a second, and then goes. This whole dollar. Yeah. If this, it just depends. You know, I think so. Both was asking me if this thing would have pulled back more and retested too. I absolutely would have took a stab, right? Because it's that whole dollar psych level. The whole dollar becomes good support or good resistance. It just depends. And since this move is so fresh, it would have been worth taking a stab because this was hitting scans or the scanners. You know, yeah. No, no, I see what you mean. Like pulling back to here. It's just yeah, it's one of those that you just you see a setup like this, you just gotta you know hit the ask. Expose yourself to it, see if it works, see if it doesn't work. And I think it all has to do with timing. I'm real big on like watching how many seconds are left in the candle, or if it's a fresh breakout, how many seconds are, did this candle just start? Because I don't want to wait, a whole 60 seconds to get a new pullback, and sometimes it just never happens, right? Because it does this micro pullback and then goes, and then now its thing is starting to get so extended that now it can actually pull back a lot more. It just depends how much momentum, where it's setting up at. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So guys, just I'll pull this one up. ARDX, just because. So if I'm gonna play right pre-market, this is the way I trade pre-market, and I probably won't trade it any other way, right? I have hotkeys on my mouse, and it's literally in the morning I switch it. It's buy the ask and sell the bid. Because if I like a pattern and it's pulling back to my setup, if this is pulling back to the 8 and I like it so much, I'm just gonna buy. If it's pulling back and the ask is now 147, I'm gonna buy 147. I'm just gonna keep clicking, buy the ask, how many shares, whatever it is, switch up my order size, whatever I feel that's fit for the situation, and I do that. Now, I rarely get filled on the ask unless now it's breaking a half whole dollar and I'll have it, a penny before the half or whole dollar. But if not, I sell into the bids. If I'm already up 50 or 20, 30 cents, and this wall right here, and I don't see any more buyers stepping up on the tape, and this is not getting chipped, and there's a big wall right here, and I'm already up 20, 30 cents, I sell into the bid. And this is what it looks like. So I buy the ask, and I sell the bid. I do this with so many of my plays pre-market because you can't just dump, you can't flatten your position and get out. You can't sell the market, just in case you panic or, and get out at best available price. I found this way so profitable and so successful of buying the ask, selling the bids because I always get filled. And now there's some days where, I don't know if it's TOS or something, or it's just not enough volume that where I get slippage, and you got this little box that pops up. You gotta click OK and then fill the next bid. Sometimes it happens. That's why I like playing shit that has strong momentum, because when that happens, bidders are stepping up right away as soon as the price pops up, and I'm feeling it. I'm locking in gains. I think the best way to trade is not to be greedy. And then if you start taking 3, 4,000 shares at a time, you're up 50 cents, you're up 2 grand already. Shit, I'm filling the bids, guys. That's just how I trade. I've been trading like that for a long time now. And if stock goes up higher, that's fine. It goes without me. I just know in that play I locked in, 2K for the day for that trade, or $500 for the trade, $100, whatever it is. And then the same thing, open market. On the open market, now I've been buy the if I like it so much, I'm just gonna buy the market. Or, and you guys know, if I see a nice 5-minute pullback, depending how the stock is, I will actually go up to 145, and actually place it on the ladder, right? I don't think it's closed. So, yeah. So I'll actually place it, like on the ladder. So if it pulls back, I automatically get filled. I don't have to worry about it, right? And certain situations, again, I'll play the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, depending on, not in this situation. This is not that situation, where I think you should be doing that. If it's actually sets up a pole and pulls back and gives us bodies to actually levels to break, you can average up. But yeah, that's how I use that. I either place bids or buy the ask and sell into the bid. So I do that. I'm just reading more questions. Do I find that 1 minute flags work pre-market better? Yes, 1 minute flags do work better pre-market. 100%, especially if the move has just started. Because if that's your first couple flags, right? Those are going to be your first stick, this is again, same concept with this one, right? This is the best way to explain it. This is the first move. This is your first pullback. This is the second move. This is the second pullback. Look what happens after that. It's just a chop city. Another flag. This flag fails. Super extended. And then you get all this crap, right? This is almost another flag. Kind of fails. You know, but the people who are early caught this. This is what I mean by being early too. When I talk about being early. I find that more patient after pre-market. I tend to miss entries because I'm waiting for the 5 minute flag that don't come, or usually post 9:45. Um, hmm. I think, yeah, I think the best flags that are going to happen are going to be super early. Especially with, yeah, yep, yep, yeah, yep, yeah. So when you get good momentum, it's usually from 9:30 to 10, depending on the stock, right? Or when it actually starts. The momentum probably lasts for like an hour, 30 to 45 minutes. This is why once the momentum's there, you have to be ready and you have to be willing to take a stab at it, because once you notice like the volume starting to set up different, it's not going to trade the same. Same thing with, like, if you look at this, where'd it go? 12:1. Oops, here we go. Yeah. So, this is, same day. This is pulling up. These are your 5 minute, 8 EMA pullbacks. See how this happens now? People want to get in now. They don't want to wait until later. You're not going to get the same setup. Once this thing tweezer top blows off the top, the momentum's different. If you're going to play these setups, they're either going to happen when a catalyst gets dropped pre-market early, or things are going to set up for day two. A stock could run day two continuation, or it can have news closer to the bell, and then you're going to get these type of momentum plays, momentum flags out of the gates. Later during the day, do they work? Maybe. Just depends, if you get the volume that comes in. Okay, how do you know where to add the flag and when to exit the flag if it's not working? All right. So just in this situation, right? If you're buying this first 5 minute pullback, right, which is pretty much right here, this is the first selling candle, right? Let me go to the 1, 2. Okay, guys, I if you look at a flag, right, this is the flag pole, and this would be the body. Okay. Now, in my opinion, this could have pulled back all the way to VWAP and it would have been still perfect, right? If you get a 30, 40, 50, 60% pullback from the initial move, like from here, this is where it started to curl, reverse. This is where volume started to come in, all right? And, this is where the momentum actually starts. So if this would have pulled back here, that would have been fine. Where do I stop out? If I take a 5 minute 8 and it starts to pull back more and wants to test something else, I stop out right away, and then I'll re-enter on strength. But if this would have started to flag and then broke out and then knifed again, I'm exiting it because it doesn't. Here goes an example. If this would have pulled back right here, right? We were looking for this to actually work right here. See it match up. Yeah. So this could have been another 5 minute flag, right? Popped up. It's pulling back. Buyer step up off the 8, and there's no continuation. There's no follow through. I'm exiting out. Like, I'm stopping out. This does not look like a flag anymore as soon as it does all this funky shit right here. Okay, here goes it. So when I re-enter on strength, trying to give you guys the best example. So say you're playing this, right? And this is just, me trying to like give you an example now, right? If I would have bought this and, you know, this would have pulled back more, right? This is pulling back more, more, more. I'm just trying to like have you guys like see this visually. I don't have like an example that I can give you right here. But say this is the flag and it's pulling back, right? And this was where we thought this was where we're going to start to flag. If it starts to break, right, and pull back more, I'm going to start to re-enter on the curl when I see volume and buyer step up. On this particular name too, it had big walls on it. So once I started seeing them get chipped, I'm re-adding on strength. So say you would have bought this pullback right here and you would have cut it, right? Because this would have been your first 1 minute flag off the 1 minute 8. That's fine. You can cut it, wait for some type of confirmation, and for volume right here, this is 1.2 mil. I would wait for the sentiment to change, or wait for like, wait for the thing to shift. Don't just keep adding, averaging down, averaging down. Wait until you see some volume. That's when I cut things and then re-add. Um, Sometimes I would have tried to. Okay, so Bofo was saying that he got basically got stopped out, right, and then actually formed another 1 minute flag. In this situation, if you're looking at the bigger time frame, which is the 5, I would have re-entered on here because I'm looking for this 5 minute flag to break out. Once you kind of get this 5 minute tweezer bottom right here, bouncing off orb, I would have just pretty much re-entered off this time frame and looking for this to actually break out, and we're looking for this to break 179, and you can kind of see what happens right here with that. You got this little pop right here, the first 5 minute candle make a new high 177, so it kind of starts to ignite, right? 670,000, and now it's actually breaking out of the top of the flagpole. Somebody asked like, I do not buy these breakouts right here. All right, I only average up on these if I didn't get my full size down here. I add the pullbacks. I do not add breakouts at all. Save that for somebody else, for Warrior Trader. I'm just kidding. Save it. Yeah, yep. No, this is yeah, this is exactly where I got in right here. This I was in on this candle right here. No, nope. Yeah, yep. Because once I see it's pretty much reversing. Buyers are stepping up. And then if anything, you can risk orb, or since this name, I think this name right here, you can let it breathe a little bit, but it's just still, I'd love to let things just cut it and re-enter. This name, if it did break, you would have lost 5 cents maybe on a crazy flush. This is actually 4 cent candle. you know um, but really, um, just yeah, look, always look left or at the 5, see what's actually going on with it, in my opinion. If it wants to pull back more, like this is another example of this thing. I wish it would have pulled back more. Would have just loaded more shares, but it didn't. And we've seen this type of setup. Like we get that first 5 minute candle, it pulls back, and the new one opens, and it just starts to go. This was, I guess, a big enough pullback for this one. Yeah, that's all right. I think, yeah, just again, the 1 minute would make me kind of like, when are you getting, when are you getting? You could attempt the 1 minute flag right here, But if you see that it says green candle after green candle, expect a pullback or a bigger one. It just depends. Again, this one, it's still so early, and this momentum is a lot more fresh. It's a lot fresher than anything else that was going on for the day too. How much size do you put on the bids? Or the chunks the same size as? Okay. All right. For me, every time I'm trading a stock, if it's real whippy and I get filled on the bids, depending on the stock price, right? If it's 10 to 20 bucks, I'm probably gonna trade in like 1,500 to 3,000 shares at a time. Uh, Guys, a stock like this, I had scalped this thing twice with like 3,500 shares. 3,500 on this pullback, or I had 3,200 on this one, or 32,000, sorry. It depends, if you're watching the tape in level 2, like how many shares can you get away with without catching a big loss? Like, can I get in and out with a lot of shares? That's what I look for. Is if the stock's real whippy, I'm not gonna slap something with 10,000 shares and get destroyed on a spread. Or if the name's thin, it doesn't have volume. So that just depends. Like, also look at how much the candlesticks are producing. This is where you're looking at price action, price range. If this thing gets strong volume, okay, I can get 8 cents out of this candle out of 1 minute. And then you're looking left or right, wherever the case may be on the 5 minute. If this candle wants to flush, I can lose 10 cents. So I do that with any stock that I'm trading, right? If you look at SYAD, the reason why I don't like playing this is, for one, it does not look pretty at all. Like, how do you even play this? But at any given time, okay, this thing can rip, almost a dollar, but then it can flush almost a dollar. So very whippy back and forth. If I play something like this, even if there was a setup, I might take, you know, not that much size because I don't want to get caught in these crazy ass knives. And then you say, well, if you get caught in this candle, that's amazing. But this candle happened once. This popped up and then flushed immediately. You know, I think it would be so much better if you stuck to a few strategy, a few plays, became consistently profitable on it, build the confidence, take your money in the market, or put your money in, take your money out, and then not trade any other shit that's going on. Okay, so that's a good question. How much smaller positions, or okay, so if I average up, guys, right? If I already have 5,000 shares in a stock and I want to average up, I would literally probably maybe average up 1,500 more, 1,000 more. If I have 2,000, I'm not gonna buy 2,500 on the pullback and 2,500 on the break. And the reason why I don't do that is because, one, I've tried that before and I would ruin my average, right? It's better to have a core. Say you take 5,000 shares and it's ripping, it's really strong, and you just want to get a little bit more. You don't want to buy 5,000 shares at 450 and then buy another 5,000 at 480 and then expect the whole dollar to break and then it stuffs. And now you have a higher average. And now instead of being super profitable at 450 from 5, you average up at 480. Now you're really probably not making any money. Um, if you're not good with averaging up and taking more size, just take a core position and start trading like that. See what it feels like to trade with 1,000 shares. Play a 5 minute flag with 1,000. Let it break out. Let it move. You know. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I maybe 25%. I'm not gonna double it because I've done that, and then I'm like, damn, like I was already up X amount of dollars. I averaged up, and now I'm only at peanuts. Like, so if I've learned this. Like, if you buy 5,000, or if say you buy 1,000, maybe buy like 250. Now you're scalping this play with 1,250 shares. But don't sit here and buy 1,000 and then buy another 1,000, and then now you're only going to be up 10 cents on the play when you could have been up 50. You would have made more money. off 50 cents on 1,000 shares, then you would have 2,000 shares and made 10 cents. You made 200 bucks instead of 500. You know. Okay, so someone asked me, do you pay attention to the individual candles on the 5 minute flag if it's top wiki? Do I still try to see if the VPA is there? Yeah, all the time. Um, if you see a top wick on any setup, it's just people taking profits, right? I wish I had an example. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of these flags. Yeah, okay, so there's not really an example that I can see right here without wasting too much time. If there's an upper wick, look left to see where that was running into. It could have been a daily level. It could have been pre-market high, open market high. You know, there's an upper wick for a reason. Maybe in the whole dollar, half dollar. So that's fine. People are going to take profits. So you're going to get setups that have upper wicks, but don't let it, you know, distract you from the overall setup that could be happening. The good low volume pullbacks, basing above half whole dollar. If it gets stuffed now, kind of like, I don't know, maybe something like this on CYAD where it gets stuffed and this is the top of the 5 minute candle and then you get a low volume pullback. Yeah, I'm not playing that. Absolutely not. I like to play those when they have a lot more strength behind it. Okay. Yeah, same thing on. Okay, so how do you know when to take profits after a 5 minute 8 EMA holds? Sometimes we make it to the top of the flagpole, but sometimes we don't. What do you want to see that gives you confidence that the flag will continue to break out versus know when it's about to get stuffed or break down? Okay, guys, this is a good example here again for that question. All right, right here where this is holding the 5 minute 8 EMA, we're anticipating this to break out, but you gotta pay attention now. I always say this. I I take a 5 minute entry and then I'm looking at the 1 minute for continuation, right? So if we're entering off the 5 minute 8 over here, right? And now we see stuff like this, or even this, right? This is a 1 minute tweezer top. This is pretty much a level where it just can't get over. This is a 188 flat top area. Now it's time to like just exit the whole position from here, right over here to here, you know? And even if you only made whatever it was, this particular flag didn't give us a lot of range compared to the first one. That's fine. Take your profits. Do not let it come back to make you break even or even take a loss. As soon as the strength is not behind this, so this is what you want to see, right? You see this 5 minute flag sets up. Look at the strength behind this. Look at the volume that's actually behind this. And now look at the volume behind this flag. Huge difference, right? Now what's this one right here? Or this right here? It's still, yeah, the 1055 one. I mean, so I think since this was so early, so both of us asked me, how do I not get scared from this one? I mean, if you're already in from this one at like 178, 180s, you gotta let it breathe just a little bit, right? Because if this does want to continue, we're looking for new buyers to step up, right? This pulled back already. Anybody who missed this move is looking to re-enter on this. So this is a situation where you're in it. We're looking for new buyers to step up. As long as you enter right here, you can either break even or take a few cents loss. on this. This is actually a really good one, guys, too, because someone asked earlier, like, this is the top of that first flag, the flagpole, and this bounced directly off of it. So not only do you have a 5-minute flag, but you also have it bouncing off a key level of an area that was its previous high for this particular flagpole. Um, all right. So how do I tell the difference of this like between a 1-minute flag, sideways flag, or maybe more consolidation? I'm looking at the 5-minute right here, looking at the volume. Once it starts to push back up and it's pushing back again on lighter volume compared to what it did over here, that's when I'm like, all right, maybe it's time to switch the switch on this and short it, or just not play long, or take your profits from over here. Um, yeah, again, this look how extended this is too. Super extended play. If this wanted to work, we needed this type of push of volume. Once I kind of see this flat top, because I actually been doing that, going short now and stuff like this, where it's not breaking out. And now look how extended this is. It would have been a great short. And then look what here goes a perfect bear flag right here, guys. I will be shorting these from now on because I go long on this setup, right? Stair step down, pop up, stair step down. You got a nice pop down, lower volume push up, and then you kind of got the same exact VPA here, but it's kind of like right here, right? It's amazing, right? What that can do. They work both ways. So if you're not comfortable going long, you can look for these setups on the backside for a short play. Okay. Yeah, so just remember, when I play these flags, guys, you know, I'm I used to, right, used to take most of my profits right at the top of the flagpole. But now I'm looking for a reason why to sell. Once it started pulling back right here and couldn't break 192s, and the actually first pullback got bought up and did not break out again, now I'm dumping my shares, dumping my whole position. Especially if I got good ads from here, and I'm taking my money from the market. Um, you know, just once, yeah, I'm not waiting for a sideways wave. I'm not, no, because the thing is that over time you're gonna get better and better at playing these, so you're gonna be more confident taking size. I don't want to put myself in a position where I take size and then it's going like sideways and just doesn't do nothing. And all of a sudden, I don't know if you guys see it. I've seen it plenty of times where it just does this. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Oh, this is nice. Oh, it might work. Boom. And now this dumped. You're panicking, so you're dumping it, and then everyone else is panicking, and it just creates this, waterfall of knives. You know, this is the setup right here. This is the volume that you want to look for, and personally, where you want to start unloading your shares. Like, I love selling into strength. Why do I like selling into strength? Because I get filled immediately. I don't have to worry about nothing, and all I see is green P&L. It's just I'm filled. That it is what it is. I'll learn how to either hold a little bit longer, or I'll learn how to take more size to make more money. That's that's how I play every single 5-minute flag. Is all right. How much size can I take? How much profit can I squeeze out of this? How can I hold it longer? And how can I cut it faster for profit? That's all. That's what's going through my mind now when I'm trading 5-minute setups. How much size can it take? How much money can I get out of it? How much profits can I lock in from it? And that's it. I'm looking for a reason to sell, and I'm looking for a reason to hold. Trying to make sure. yeah, you guys have any other questions, or hopefully this helped you guys out. I'm making millionaires with the teachings now. Hell yeah, good guys. Man, guys, I see so many people DM me too, like, they never played a flag like that or looked at a flag like that. Again, I did this off the 5 minute. I didn't backtest this off the 15, the 10, the 30. This is just the 5 minute with a 1 minute guidance. You know, um, you know, and that's where all my backtesting is from. The 5 minute setups, the VPA on it. You know, learning how to get better at it, when to place bids, when to slap the ask, when to sell into the bids, when to market sell, stuff like that. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys showing up. I hope this helped. I'm definitely going to get off and catch some sleep. But thanks for showing up, guys. I appreciate everyone. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday morning.